as Guru Maharaj would say, where all of you are giving your realizations, being trained in the proper mood, etiquette. You see, Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj would say that I have drawn a line, for all the followers to follow. So unknowingly, we are bringing you towards that, for that line. Knowingly, you will realize it as you progress. What is that line? There's a particular way in which we do our sadhana, and yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to. It's a little new concept. I wanted to start this new concept. It will be coming through over a period of time also. Yeah, we're getting more clear. And so I don't think there'll be any. Has anyone joined from other places, India or something? It's a very difficult time there, so I don't think. Well, if they join, well and good. Otherwise, they will be joining us hopefully on YouTube. So Hare Krishna, without further delay, welcome all of you to Shri Krishna Janmashtami Festival Online Hare Krishna Weekend Program, the Leaders Sangha. We're very eager to hear from the realizations of our leaders. So who'd like to go first? Please feel free. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and very happy Janmashtami to all the devotees. And thank you very much, Prabhuji, for organizing this wonderful program on this auspicious day. And it makes very big difference in our lives because we are in so different places and we can come together, on the platform. So thank you very much, His Grace Amrish Prabhu, Her Grace Moon Pragya Devi Dasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Barpan Krishna Prabhu for giving us the chance to share our realizations and organizing this program. So, yes, Prabhuji, on this auspicious day, I was listening Guru Maharaj's lecture, actually. There's a very beautiful lecture Guru Maharaj gives. The title says, "Allow Krishna to appear in your heart." So I just want to share two parts. First part, I will share what Guru Maharaj said, and then I will share my realization. And then the second part. So this lecture is actually on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 3, Verse 1. So I'll just read, so I'll recite the verse and read the translation, and then I'll go what Guru Maharaj said in lecture. Okay, so verse 1. Shri Shukavacha Atah Sarvagunopetah Kala Paramashobhanah Yahirvajan Janmakshana Shanta Rakshagraha Tarakam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, at the auspicious time of the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation Rohini appeared, as did stars like Ashwini, the sun, the moon, and the stars and planets were very peaceful. So, Guru Maharaj are saying that as soon as you come to Krishna, one of the best quality of Krishna is always we are in the mode of goodness. The misunderstandings are completely absent. That's the best benefit. Otherwise, your mind is an enemy, By chanting of Krishna's name, we are benefited because Sarva Guno Petam, all becomes completely auspicious. What to talk about Krishna's appearance? Even Kamsa, seen Devaki when she carried Krishna, and he also changes. So what to talk of us people? We are really favorable to Krishna. And because we are favorable to Krishna, as soon as we do any activity regarding Krishna, all lower modes are completely absent. And when we are victimized by lower modes, our life becomes a drag, you know. We don't want to do that. A life meant for realization of Krishna. Why make it drag? No, there is no need of it. And we are lucky that we are in America, like a country in America. Krishna has given sufficient things, and you have time also. So please try to recognize the appearance of Krishna. And this appearance, as I told you, that we should allow him to appear in our life. Otherwise, we are the cause of our own destruction. If we doesn't, if we don't allow him, means always we are there in lower modes. Then next is Kalaha, Parama Shobhana. Time becomes auspicious. And this way, these planetary systems also we do not worry because as soon as Krishna appears in our life, for us the constellations is very good. For other people, we don't know what is it. But for us, there is no question of it. And then Shanta, very peaceful. So these four qualities in the appearance of we saw. So, so what I have realized from this first point that Maharaj saying that when we change ourselves, we do not allow lower modes to settle in our daily lives, then we can receive Krishna. So on the occasion of Sri Krishna Janmashtami, we can see lots of activities happening. Yes, celebration is there, and it should be. But do I really understand what's the real meaning of Sri Krishna Janmashtami? What does it really mean of Krishna's appearance? Guru Maharaj explains here that allow Krishna to appear in our hearts. So first we need to come out of these lower modes and change our behavior and habits. Because Krishna conscious activities are so nice and effective that we get benefited by these activities to remain above the modes. Sometimes we fall down, but as Maharaj said that we keep following our sadhana, which will allow Krishna to appear in our lives. Then what will happen? Time will be auspicious and no need to worry about installation because our existence becomes peaceful. I remember this point that His Grace Amrish Prabhuji shared in Sunday's class that the real Brahmana is satisfied in any situation. That's why he is peaceful. So, because we are agitated, that's why dissatisfaction is there. So I have realized that when we are dependent on others for devotional service and not sincerely studying Srila Prabhupada books, these things happens. But when we sincerely reading Srila Prabhupada books and feeling, then I'm feeling very peaceful because of course, I'm dependent on Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and my senior devotees. But and this gives freedom because so I can perform devotional service in any situation. But bhakti is dynamic. This is the mood of Guru Maharaj because we can't restrict bhakti in one situation or one particular way. So anyway, and this freedom gives because I'm dependent on Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. So this is the first part. And now the second part that Maharaj is saying that further that time is all auspicious, Kalaha Parama Sobhana. Every day he is coming in Mangal Arti. If you sleep in Mangal Arti, he speaks that time after he stops. Then we go. So please, that is the auspicious time, Brahma Muhurat. It is known. And here I'm telling you that if you miss Mangal Arti, whenever you get time, you perform Mangal Arti. That is auspicious. But we should make it a practice. We should be Nityam, regular. Today we are near the temple. Tomorrow we may go away. So Prabhupada has instructed us that please, your home should be temple. And that is you people are also doing. Temple is far away. There, then your house becomes temple. So somehow or other, Kala Parma Sobhana. As soon as Krishna let him come in your life, means he appears, and as soon as he appears, anytime it becomes very favorable. And main thing is that the Kali Yuga doesn't touch that house. That's the main benefit here. Otherwise, Kali Yuga is there. Then Maharaj explained how we have bigger place by the mercy of Lord, and some people even squeeze into single places with the whole family. Guru Maharaj giving the example of Bombay, or big cities where people have very small places. So why we have been provided these facilities? Maharaj said, our pious activities have brought us here. Now it is our pious duty to not to forget our piety and Vedic culture. Otherwise, if you forget, then again the whole thing will go away. Within no time, it goes away. If you forget Krishna, you may not be on the drain, but the house will become like a drain. This house is clean and auspicious because there is some corner is there. So Maharaj is instructing to have altar and deities in the house. Maharaj said that there is nothing to be specially done. But one thing we should always be careful that whenever we touch the deity, we should have taken bath, a nice tilak and maybe dhoti. You have to be very careful. We are going to Krishna. So you respect him and he will respect you. That is the reciprocation. So this is again very nice points here. So I have realized from this part that Krishna appears every day, not just Janmashtami. Uh, every Mangal Aarti, every day Mangal Aarti, we should receive Krishna, and all allows Krishna to appear in our hearts, our house. Our house should be temple. So devotional service is simple but not cheap. As Maharaj said that should we should be very careful with deities and altar, and we should maintain purity, and Krishna will reciprocate. So I remember His Grace Amrish Prabhuji shared that we should have a quiet corner in our house where we study Srila Prabhupada books. So Krishna is so merciful and providing all these facilities, and which means that we use these facilities in the service of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a high court judge, because he has given more facilities, more salary than a clerk in a office. Why? Because higher the position and facilities, higher the responsibility. So in the end, Guru Maharaj explained how much trouble were there when building the temple in Dwarkapuri. But when Krishna appeared in temple, all the obstacles were removed. And many times what happened that after even appearance of Krishna in the beginning, we had so much trouble. So we wrongly have the impression that because I am performing this bhakti to Krishna, all these troubles are coming. No, it's all our own past reactions of the sins. They come up because it is clear, clearing process is going on. Things have got to be cleared. And this is how we feel many times. So please don't doubt about it and give place to Krishna. Definitely. That is the appearance of Krishna. So Guru Maharaj are explaining that the troubles that we are getting, the difficulties we're getting is our own reactions. So nobody else to blame. The good thing is that it's clearing. So our devotion service should be auspicious and not hampered. So I have realized from this that it is our own restrictions that we restrict Krishna, not allowing him to appear in our heart. So when he appears in our heart, allow changes. And how we allow him, that's what Guru Maharaj explained, that we need to be very strong in our bhakti, no deviation. Then everything will become auspicious. When Krishna appears, all become auspicious. Time, or star constellation, etc. This is the quality of Krishna. He is supreme purifier, and that's what we try to understand the appearance of Krishna. So there is this famous uh, shloka in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon body take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So, knowing Krishna by Tattvataha. So this is the main um, points that stuck out for me, because um, everybody is celebrating, everybody is sending messages are seen in my groups and my phone as well. And although Krishna Janmashtami is celebrated everywhere, and I was listening Srila Prabhupada's lecture as well, and Srila Prabhupada also explained that it is like a Christmas in Western world, So matter if they are Christians or other faiths, everybody get into the spirit of Christmas. So in India, Krishna Janmashtami, Sri Krishna Janmashtami is like that. Everybody is in that spirit of festival, and everybody celebrates Lord's appearance. But how we understand by Tattvataha, that Guru Maharaj explained in this beautiful lecture, that I understood, that allow Krishna in our hearts every day, not just Janmashtami, but every day. So that's what I realized, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Sanjeev Prabhu, very nice. Thank you very much for your wonderful realizations. Starting with Guru Maharaj is the best,
Guru Maharaj gives
Also,
very, very strong points and very practical,
yes, yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And he's such a personality who there's no question of any you'll feel sheltered completely,
Yes,
Anyone who comes in touch, they say he'll not cheat us. He'll not cheat us, he'll be very much with us. That's him. Very nice, very
yes,
nice.
Prabhuji.
And Dwarka project temple was very troublesome for Maharaj. And before that, even before me coming to Maharaj's contact, devotees have told me that is my vocal, is it clear? I'm not wearing the headphones.
Yeah, yes, it's clear, Prabhuji.
Everybody can hear.
Yes, yeah.
That it would be such that even Maharaj, there would not be food, prasadam for Maharaj.
Mhm.
Somehow they would cook something for the deities, there'll be
Yes.
no money. There's no question about donation and big, big things, and Maharaj would not allow this to happen.
Mhm.
But now it's very hard to understand and believe this is how it was.
Yes.
And even he would be going to Bhandara, next to temples where they were open, they would call him, and they would
Mm.
do disciples make sure that he gets some prasadam to eat. That is old,
Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, because Maharaj was explaining in the lecture as well that how the different people creating trouble, and there was
Yes, yes,
the municipal committee there as well and all that.
yeah,
So it was,
yeah.
and now because it's already done, so we don't know the background. We don't know how much trouble is
Oh,
been taken.
absolutely right.
Because I remember when
Absolutely.
I visited like 10 years ago uh, in Dwarkapuri. So it's beautiful temple. It's all
Mm,
stone and
mm,
marble
mm.
and nice details there.
Yeah, but still, what I was told is that when some of the very general devotees, senior devotees would come, I'm
Mm.
talking about devotees of Krishna from all of the sampradayas too. So one of them, he was a big guru, So he would come and he would sit in front of Shri Rukmini Dwarkadish, deity in the temple, and sit there for long time His disciples would be, looking at him, and he would be sitting there. And not only once, he'd come there regularly. He says that there's something else about these deities,
Hmm.
very special. So one day, if all of you can come, we all will go together
Yes, Prabhu.
and once again.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Jai, Jai. All the
Jai.
best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Gurudev ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much. Who would like to join now? Who would like to give the realizations? Please, please. Wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Wish you all happy Janmashtami. Thank you, Amrish Prabhu. Thank you, Purnapanda Devidashi, Mataji. Thank you, Krishna Samarpan Das, for organizing this wonderful Janmashtami program on auspicious day. My realization is from one of the Srila Prabhupada's lecture, and is very similar what Sanjay Prabhu has given the realization on Maharaj's lecture. And thank you, Sanjay Prabhu, for a very nice realization. What Maharaj says that we should allow Krishna every day in our heart. Very similar. Srila Prabhupada said that in one of his lecture that we can remember Krishna in every moment. We can remember Krishna while drinking the water because the taste of water is Krishna. We can remember Krishna as soon as we see the sunlight in the morning, because the sunlight is the reflection of Krishna's bodily effulgence. Similarly, as soon as we see the moonlight in the evening, and we remember Krishna because the moonlight is also a reflection of sunlight. Similarly, when we hear the sound, and we can remember Krishna because the sound is also Krishna. But the most perfect sound, when we say transcendentally, we sound as Hare Krishna, then that is more powerful. So Srila Prabhupada says that we must chant, we must think about Krishna 24 hours. And also Srila Prabhupada mentioned, your reference about what Sanjay Prabhu has already mentioned that, but I will read it again, about Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, verse 9. Janma karmam cha divyam evam yo vetti tatvataha tyakta deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjun, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So there, actually, Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that one who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage. And therefore, he returns to the kingdom of the God immediately after quitting this present material body. But also, Srila Prabhupada said it is not easy for the materialistic people because their thinking, their aim is different than devotees. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body, of the activities of the Lord, attains the abodes of the Lord. After ending this body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. Also, Srila Prabhupada emphasized on the same lecture that anyone who understands the Krishnas to be supreme and who says unto the Lord that you are the same Supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. So one can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve the perfection. The simple thing, what Srila Prabhupada also further said, that what we lacking, the knowledge, about the knowledge. We all living entities, we are the part and parcel of the Krishna. We are eternal, we are blissful, and we are cognizant. Krishna is described in the Vedic Shastras in Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, verse 1. Ishvara Param Krishna, Satchid Ananda Vigraha, Anadira Adira Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Satchid Ananda Vigraha, God, Krishna. When we speak Krishna, that means a God. But if there is any importance name, God, sometimes it's said, people say that God has no name. Srila Prabhupada says, yes, but God's name is given by his activities. Just like Krishna accepted the sonhood of Maharaj Nanda or Yashodamai or Devaki or Vasudeva. Vasudeva and Devaki were Krishna's real father and mother, but nobody is real father or mother for Krishna, because Krishna is the original father of everyone. But when Krishna comes to here, he advents and he accepts some devotees as his father, as his mother and Krishna, but Krishna is the original Adi Purusham. He is the original person. Always, when Srila Prabhupada also given an example about the Krishna, how he is young and beautiful. When he was in battlefield of the Kurukshetra, he looks like 20, 24 years young boy. But when he was fighting at the battlefield, he had great grandson. Therefore, Krishna is always young. So to understand Krishna, simply if we read the Vedic literature of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, it is not very difficult to understand Krishna. But when we study the Vedas, if we not understand the Krishna, then Srila Prabhupada says there is no use of having that education and understanding. But we have to read an association with the like-minded devotees so we can understand the Krishna. Krishna, although Krishna is the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam, causes of all causes, just like we try to understand that I'm cause of my father. My father is caused by his father, and he's caused by his father. Go on searching, but ultimately you will find someone who is cause. But here, Krishna, he is the original. Shastra says that he is the original. Therefore, Krishna, that the Janma Karma Karanam Chadivyam Ye Jananti Tattvataha. The advent of Krishna, it is very important thing. We should try to understand Krishna. He advanced because he comes to the material world for his business, or his activities. We try to understand that Krishna. But the aim of the life, we should understand one should understand what is our aim of the life. So in the event of the advent of the Krishna, we shall try to understand the philosophy of Krishna and how we should attain the peace from this material miseries. So Srila Prabhupada is also given, is nicely explained in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, verse 29. Bhoktar yajna tapassam sarvaloka maheshwaram sahrudam sarva bhutanam jnatva mam shanti mrchati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be ultimate beneficiary of sacrifice, sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and thereafter, and benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Srila Prabhupada in purport, he mentioned that but the normal people, they do not know the formula of the peace, which is explained in Bhagavad Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply to understand the Krishna. The Lord Krishna is the beneficiary in all human activities. Men should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord, because he is the proprietor of all the planet and the demigods thereon. So no one is greater than he. He is greater than the greater of the demigods, even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. So Krishna, he is the proprietor of the all planet, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Therefore, whether there is either in the sky or in the water or in the land, they all are Krishna's property. And because we are all sons of Krishna, therefore every one of us has the right to use our father's property. But we should not encroach upon others. That is the formula of peace. We are all sons of God. We have got the right to use our father's property, but normally the tendency of the people is to fight amongst ourselves. These things are stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Stena evasa uchyate. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says that if anyone, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse 12, Srila Prabhupada says that if anyone is misusing or fighting, they are thief. If anyone takes more than what he needs, also he is a thief. Then one should only get whatever you need. So you act for Krishna and you take prasad for Krishna. But when we forget this philosophy that Krishna is the Supreme Father, Krishna is the Supreme Provider, or Krishna is the Supreme Enjoyer, then the Krishna or Krishna is the Supreme Friend of everyone. When you forget this, then we come into the material world and struggle for our existence. The Krishna's advent give us a lesson that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Krishna says that, my dear Arjun, I come here because there is a discrepancies in the process of the religious life. The simple, here Srila Prabhupada says that simple definition of dharma is to understand or know the direction given by the God. So dharma means, Srila Prabhupada says that it's a direction given by the God, which we learn in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and through association of the devotees. So we have to understand that God and the Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada, he mentioned that the Krishna is, and Krishna consciousness and Krishna is in everyone's heart. Like when Srila Prabhupada went to US, and Srila Prabhupada said that, how can those people especially from US, they understand the Krishna, they like to chant it, they read Bhagavad Gita, and they understood what Krishna wants what the Krishna's message was there. That means Krishna is in everyone's heart, but only we don't understand and we don't look into that angle. So therefore, we end up in having fighting with the people, fighting with the society, fighting with the nations and nation. So thereby, if you understand Krishna's plan, so one surrenders what Krishna's plan is there. When we read Srila Prabhupada's book, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, then one can understand what is Krishna's plan, and then we understand our dharma. So our human life, the ultimate goal of human life is to achieve immortality. Tyapta deham punar janma naiti. We have forgotten this. We are simply leading to the lives of cats and dogs without any knowledge that we can achieve the perfection of life when there will be no birth, no more death. So we do not understand even that there is a possibility of amaratvam. But everything is possible. Nobody wants to die. Nobody, that is the fact actually. Nobody wants to become an old man. Nobody wants to become a deceased person. But this is our spiritual inclination, because originally in our spiritual form, there is no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. So to actually, if we anxious for the peace and tranquility in society, then we must be very serious to understand Krishna. Don't take, Srila Prabhupada said, don't take it neglectfully. The Krishna conscious movement, this movement can solve all the problem of our life. All the problem in the world, social, political, and all problem will be solved when you are in Krishna consciousness. So what my realization, after reading the Srila Prabhupada's book, that we have to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and put constantly our mind, constantly think and engage remembering Krishna. The process of remembering Krishna is very easily done by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and one should think of Krishna always. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, who is the oldest, who is the controller, and who is the smaller than the smallest, who is inconceivable and who is always a person luminous like a sun and being transcendental, beyond this material nature. So Krishna is not something personal, impersonal, or void. So I should read books and try to understand the nature of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then it will be easy for me to think of him continuously. So this is my realization from this Srila Prabhupada's lecture. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So it is very important that the way in which we train Hare Krishna devotees in Hare Krishna WECAN in the programs is this, that we have to somehow, and after certain training, we say use your intelligence. That's how Shada Gurudev would do. And it is very important and imperative to use intelligence. When some situation arises, we have to implement the scriptures in our actions. That is Maharaj's way. At that point in time, somebody says, I do not understand, I do not know, what do I do? That is a litmus test, how much you have understood what we are teaching you. Because a lot of effort goes in training every one of you. The beginners level also, intermediate, advanced level, everywhere. We're very hands-on. Gallons of blood is invested in all of you. And voluntarily, we say we are not owners of anything. But till the time you allow us to serve you, we do that. So this is Maharaj's way. And when Maharaj would observe that intelligence is used in one's dealings, discrimination, intelligently thinking, then it will please Maharaj very much. But if it is not, then yeah, even a person like me would be disappointed. So the leader Sangha devotees, especially in this level, we have to show our intelligence in our dealings, in our studies, in our realizations, because we are going to teach youngsters that we are teaching the beginners level, intermediate level devotees. They're looking at us. So yes, we were watching Krishna Janmashtami festival in Mathura. Now they've changed the jail in which Lord Krishna had appeared in Mathura. And next to it is a temple. And they were showing on Indian television, Doordarshan, which is there on YouTube also. So they were showing simultaneously of Dwarka, a temple, of Dwarkadish, Janmashtami festival, and parallel in Mathura, Krishna Janmashtami, Krishna Janam place. It was gorgeous. And it said that in Mathura itself, only one place, they were expecting anywhere between 4 to 5 million people in 1.5 days. That's as big as New Zealand population. Just imagine in one temple they all came and going with all the arrangements and the police and administration. So much thinking has to go in. It's like one country of New Zealand coming to one temple. There are so many temples of Krishna in India where they would be visiting, devotees will be visiting. So this will show us the intensity of devotion in India. And they may not be having conversation with very philosophy, but still there is a connection with Krishna. And we, with so much information about philosophy, we struggle with connection with Krishna. So we have to be very careful at times. Our intelligence should not be a hindrance. Sorry, our knowledge should work as a facilitator of our love for Krishna. Otherwise, better we don't have any knowledge. We just love Krishna. That's what we want ultimately, isn't it? So I always struggle with this point in our preaching, and how much we emphasize upon knowledge, because then we are attached to knowledge, and love doesn't develop so much. So we pray to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada to guide us, where there's a one-on-one connection, and we do not become institutionalized in our love for Krishna. Only if you do this, you are loving Krishna. There you find, I watch, interviews of people, devotees, ordinary people, and they show so much affection for Krishna, and they are just individuals. How beautiful. And Krishna is theirs too. I feel many times Krishna is more of theirs than mine. There's nothing. This knowledge is not very good. So we have to be very careful. Okay. Hare Krishna. Who would like to go next now? Please pray.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Thank you very much, Sanjeev Prabhu and Sabha for very nice realizations, and wishing everyone a very happy Shri Krishna Janmashtami. I have just made some points from my realization today in relation to a couple of verses from the Bhagavad Gita with reference to Srila Prabhupada's purports and some lecture excerpts as well. But today I was trying to meditate on, particularly on Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse 3 and Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 55. So with chapter 7 verse 3, we all know the verse, Manushanam Sahasreshu kasyad yadati siddhaya yadatam api siddhanam kashyamam veti tatvataha. So out of many thousands of people, many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly anyone knows me in truth, or hardly anyone knows Lord Krishna in truth. And this verse has come many times in our studies, and we've always highlighted the importance of the disciplic succession and bhakti yoga, and practicing bhakti yoga. And this highlights the difference between, bhakti yoga, serious practitioners of bhakti yoga, serious followers of Srila Prabhupada, and impersonalists or mental speculators or philosophers. And just meditating on that verse, and also thinking about Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan on the occasion of Janmashtami. It's Srila Prabhupada also makes this point that it's not possible for impersonalists or for mental speculators or people who are so-called realized, or even yogi practitioners. They cannot actually understand the pastimes of Lord Krishna. How is it possible without trying to develop a relationship with the Lord, or without trying to understand the nature of Lord Krishna and your constitutional position? How is it possible to understand Lord Krishna as the son of Mother Yashoda, or as a charioteer of Lord Arjun, of Arjun, sorry, or as a friend, and in so many different pastimes, as a friend, as a lover, as a brother, as a son. There's so many different rasas, so many different relationships that Lord Krishna has in these pastimes, but also with each and every one of us. But how it's not possible for people who are not trying to inculcate that bhakti yoga, not trying to inculcate our Krishna conscious philosophy, it's not possible to understand, because it's so inconceivable. We say Lord Krishna is unborn eternal, and yet takes birth in Vrindavan, but also every second in innumerable universes, Lord Krishna's pastimes are constantly continuing. So it's really mystical, and only those that follow bhakti yoga will understand, or can begin to understand that. And so on that point, I just wanted to refer to Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, verse 55, another very famous verse, but also very relevant in today's auspicious day. Bhaktya mam avijanati yavanyasyasmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato gnatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality. Srila Prabhupada's translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. Sorry, one can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Only devotional service is the way in which one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So not by mental speculators, not by scholars, not by mental speculators. They cannot grasp the love of Lord Krishna, nor will their constitutional position be revealed to them, nor will their relationship with Lord Krishna be there. And that is what I'm trying to inculcate in myself, is trying somehow to be in this bhakti yoga process and develop some inclination towards devotional service, as it's here in Srila Prabhupada's books and Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and in our teachings that, and in the mood that we're trying to follow in these programs. So that's the basis of my realization today, is that how important bhakti yoga is, and that is the fundamental separation between us and other people, or even anywhere else. This is the main difference, and this Srila Prabhupada hammers this home every time. In all the lectures, in books and references, Srila Prabhupada always hammers this home, that we cannot understand Lord Krishna without practicing bhakti yoga in line with the acharyas in disciplic succession. We cannot mentally speculate about any of these things. And those were some of the points that I was meditating on today. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much. Srila Gurudev would emphasize upon the love for Krishna manifests in us individually, and preaching part that we are preaching is a manifestation of that love. It's an interesting analogy, Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj was saying. So always remember this as leaders, Sangha, devotees. The more we are attached, the more we are giving ourselves freely to the public. Yeah. And to not just Indian devotees, people from Indian bodies, everybody we should do. And of course, those who are born in India, in the Vedic religion, Hindus, now they are benefited. They are a big advantage. But those who are not, those who are born in other religions, they need to get this information. Somehow or other, we have to approach them in our reach, outreach. Then it is real outreach. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Who would like to go next?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Happy Janmashtami to all of you. And thank you, Amrish Prabhu. Thank you, Poon Pagna Devidasi Mataji, and thank you, Krishna Prabhu, for supporting us and giving this opportunity. So today being very special day, and as Amrish Prabhu said, the mind becomes clear because Krishna has knowledge. But my mind is not clear. I'm still lazy, still dull. Yes, I'm trying. So yeah, that's what I feel. So I said, and so I was meditating on why Amrish Prabhu used the pastime of Rukmani Mata and Krishna's is such an intimate pastime on such a special day. And then I realized that these are very intimate pastime, and they are understood by intimate devotees, by pure devotees. Otherwise, we think materially and we understand materially. So, based on the same line, I will refer some verses from Bhagavatam and share my relations, because I interact with a lot of mature devotees with the parents' class who come quite regularly all the time and very engaging. But the problem is they don't remember much, but they're very engaged and they follow. And yeah, so earlier when I used to talk to them, the classes, they will complain that family is not in control. Pradyumna is here now, so now children's are rebellious, but now they respond nicely, and they are actually trying to improve their lifestyle, trying to understand Krishna, trying to follow Srila Prabhupada, trying to understand Maharaj, and trying to change their life the way they can. So the most important discussion we are having with them, that I think that I should start from that point, is that Krishna start giving knowledge about soul when you start preaching Krishna, when you start preaching Arjuna why you should fight. And that's where he starts the knowledge of soul. That, and he gives many verses, many examples. And that's a discussion we are having, that thinking like a body and thinking like a soul. How we can do it? It's simple thing that we are not this body, we are this soul. But how do we think like a soul? How do you understand the requirements of soul? What soul wants? And that lot of question answer. And most of the time we end up discussing things which are on the mind level. But they're struggling, they're trying to, and I'm also struggling. Now, I actually have picked up some verses from Bhagavatam, which are from Canto 3, Chapter 2. The name of the chapter is Remembrance of Lord Krishna. And these are pastimes of Uddhav Maharaj, which actually I picked up this point when I was thinking on the lines of Sunday's class. And I said how the pure devotee thinks, how intimately they are connected with Krishna, and what they think. Because if you actually Amrish Prabhu has not covered all those intimate pastime, understanding that people will not understand, and that's so right. But for a pure devotee, that's unimaginable for people like me, that how they understand this kind of information, knowledge, and how they actually really should enjoy it. So in that context, I would like to refer some verses and keep sharing my relations. Thank you, Sanjeev Prabhu, for starting the discussion, as you do always. And thank you, Sopan Prabhu, for covering so many points. And thank you, Krishna Prabhu, Krishna Prabhu, for being to the point and raising all those points. So the first verse is Shri Shuka Vacha iti Bhagavata Prishtha Kshatra Vartam Priyashrayam Prativaktum na Jyotishaha Autakantyat Smariteshwaraha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, when the devotee Uddhava was asked by Vidura to speak on the message of our dearest, that is Lord Krishna, Uddhava was unable to answer immediately due to excessive anxiety at the remembrance of the Lord. This is very strange that a pure devotee is not spontaneous. We learn about pure devotee, spontaneous love and all that. So Prabhupada has not written any purport on this, so I'm not able to share any relation. But I wanted to start with this, that when Sukadeva Goswami started saying, when Vidur Maharaj actually met him and asked him about the pastime, he could not start immediately. And so I'll read 3-4 verses in the same context, so that we can understand how a pure devotee, or actually they're thinking, they are our, like Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, by their pastimes, they have shown us that how the life should be led and what we should do, what we should not do. Of course, we are at the knowledge level, at the material level, at the sensory level, but at least we can enjoy by understanding their pastimes. So I'll go to verse number 5, from where I'm going to read some relations of Prabhupada and discuss. This verse says, Pulako Bhina Sarvango Munchan Milat Disha Suchaha Purnartho Lakshitastena Sneha Prasara Samplutaha. Translation. It was observed by Vidur that Uddhava had all the transcendental bodily changes due to total ecstasy. And he was trying to wipe away tears from separation from his eyes. Thus, Vidura could understand that Uddhava had completely assimilated extensive love for the Lord. So that was a pure devotee. And Prabhupada writes very nice purport. I'm not qualified. I'm not capable to talk about this topic because I don't understand. And Prabhupada writes, and then I'll share some reaction from that purport. The symptoms of the highest order of devotional service were observed by Vidura, an experienced devotee of the Lord, and he confirmed Uddhava's perfection stage of love of Godhead. Ecstatic bodily changes are manifested from the spiritual plane and are not artificial expressions developed by practice. This is very common in India, where people practice this kind of thing. Very not good situation. So there are three different stages of development in devotional service. That's my point of discussion. There are three stages, different stages of development in devotional service. The first stage is that of following of a regulatory principle prescribed in the codes of devotional service. That's where Prabhupada has emphasized a lot, because unless the habits change, unless our life is regulated, unless we know what we are eating, unless we know what we are doing, we cannot become bhakta. So this point keeps coming to when we talk to other devotees who are mature. I said, first and foremost is that you control your senses. And to control your senses, the starting point is start chanting, what Prabhupada has told us. And we are regulative principles prescribed in the course of devotional service. The second stage is that of assimilation and realization of the steady condition of devotional service. That's where it doesn't happen over a period of short time. It takes time. The second stage is that of assimilation and realization of the steady condition of devotional service. This takes time, and that's where we need to practice. Some people practice, some people don't practice, and that's why it's not a very good situation. That's why people come and go and don't understand, and as soon as you tell them to change or do something, they get upset. So and as Amrish was many times said, or Maharaj probably would say, I don't know, that preaching is a thankless job. So and as you said, preaching is not for them, preaching for us. But this is what happens. And the third stage is, Prabhupada writes, the last stage is that of ecstasy symptomized by transcendental bodily expression. This is what was happening to Uddhava Maharaj, and that's what happened to pure devotees. That's not my capacity to describe anyway. The 9 different modes of devotional service, such as hearing, chanting, and remembering, are beginning of the process. Same concept which we have been discussing, we have been practicing, which we have been trying to practice, and we have been trying to explain, preach. By regular hearing of glories and pastimes of the Lord, the impurities in the student's heart begin to be washed off. That's what we are trying to do here. The more one is cleansed of impurities, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. Gradually, the activities take the forms of steadiness, firm faith, taste, realization, and assimilation, one after another. So this is Prabhupada is giving sequence-wise that how things actually happen. The more one is cleansed of impurities, ye yathamam prapadyante, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. That's why people fluctuate. That's why things happen. And the steadiness, firm faith, taste, relation, and assimilation. The wavering mind is people are still trying to change. People are still trying to understand this knowledge. And even us, people like me. These different stages of gradual development increase love of God to the highest stage. And in the highest stage, there are still more symptoms, such as affection, anger, and attachment, gradually rising in exceptional case to the Mahabhava stage, which is generally not possible for the living entities. All these were manifested by Lord Sri Chaitanya, the personification of love of Godhead. So when I was reading this verse and I was reading this purport, Prabhupada has not touched about what was happening to Uddhav Maharaj. He was talking about the knowledge, what we understand from this pastime of a devotee, a pure devotee, who has spent whole life with Krishna. And Vidur is not an ordinary soul. He was asking this question. So, and then Prabhupada is giving the concept, and that's where the mood of this group actually stands out. That's what I feel. I have interacted with lots of people. I have interacted with many disciples of many Maharaj in India, and they're all, so they actually have said, oh, Mahavishnu Goswami, in fact, not to actually one of the devotees in India. He met some other devotee of some Maharaj, and he said, Mahavishnu, we are following Hare Krishna, we can, oh, you must be studying books. And that's how other people also, we are famous for this. Mahavishnu Goswami is famous for this, for being very bookish. Yeah, that's what they understand. That good on them. So that's Uddhav Maharaj. And then further, in the same, when remembrance of Krishna happening, and then the question answer goes on. And the other verse which I would like to share quickly is Sa katham sevaya tasya kalena jar samgatah prishto vartam paritabhyat bhartuhu padavanusmaran. Translation: Uddhav thus served the Lord continually from childhood in his old age. That attitude of service never slackened. As soon as he was asked about the message of the Lord, he at once remembered all about him. That was Uddhava's pastime. That's how pure devotee, I should not show, but that's what they do. That's how they are. And in the purport, there are few points which I've highlighted. Transcendental service to the Lord is not mundane. We understand this. The service attitude of the devotee gradually increases and never becomes slackened. Generally, this is for me now. Generally, in old age, a person is allowed retirement from mundane service. Yeah, you don't go and work for money. Yeah, but in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is no retirement at all. This Maharaj keeps repeating, and Amrish Prabhu keeps telling me. On the contrary, the service attitude increases more and more with the progress of age. In the transcendental service, there is no satiation, and therefore there is no retirement. Materially, when a man becomes tired by rendering service in his physical body, he is allowed retirement. But in a transcendental service, there is no feeling of fatigue because it is spiritual service and it is not on the bodily plane. And believe me, I have experienced this when I was doing midnight classes and early morning classes. I lost what time was it is. This is how I felt it. So, but next day I was feeling tired. So service on the body plane dwindle as the body grows older, but the spirit is never old. And therefore on the spiritual plane, the service is never tiresome. If we are serving on the spiritual level, then it is not. So when Vidur met, Uddhava undoubtedly became old, but that does not mean that his spirit became old. His service attitude matured on the transcendental plane. And therefore, as soon as he was questioned by Vidura about Lord Krishna, he at once remembered his Lord by reference to the context and forgot himself on the physical plane. Although he was old, but this is how he was feeling young. So Prabhupada writes very nice purport and about again explaining that there is the age is a number. Yeah, material people say no, age is a number. So, but Bhagavatam says like this. The other thing which I would, before I close, I would like to highlight one more point from the same one verse of the same chapter. Samuhurtama bhutu shrim Krishna grihi suddhaya brisham tivrena bhakti yogena nimagnaha sadhu nivritaha. Translation: For a moment, he remained dead silent. This is when Vidur asked question to Uddhav Maharaj. For a moment, he remained dead silent, and his body did not move. He became absorbed in the nectar of remembering the Lord's lotus feet in devotional ecstasy, and he appeared to be going increasingly deeper into that ecstasy. Now, Prabhupada writes very nice purport, and I will only read a couple of lines. On the inquiry by Vidura about Krishna, Uddhav appeared to be awakened from slumber. He appeared to regret that he had forgotten the lotus feet of Lord. Thus he again remembered the lotus feet of Lord and remembered all his transcendental loving service unto him, and by so doing, he felt the same ecstasy that he used to feel in the presence of the Lord. Now, the realization part. Because the Lord is absolute, there is no difference between his remembrance and his personal presence. So as soon as we chant, we can actually feel the presence. That same Prabhupada is giving the same message. And Prabhupada is writing again here, and these pure devotees like Uddhav Maharaj actually showing by example that how this can be actually achieved. So on this auspicious day, I would like to actually all of you to bless me so that I can keep serving Maharaj and keep me engaged all my life and do whatever little service I can do. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for nice realizations. What I can remember and gather, from Maharaj, the interaction that we had, although I was very new, and very formal relationship, was the intensity of with which Maharaj would instruct. So right from that day, when I would meet, I would always feel I have to be transparent because I was preaching then. I said, all of you should feel the presence of Maharaj. There is our challenge. That is my challenge. So many of you were very new at the time. Since then, that was the case. And that's what I'm hoping, that I remain that way, with the transparency. And only with one reason, that you would all will feel the presence of Maharaj. There should not be any other reason behind it, as far as I'm concerned. And especially for future generations, we have to keep Maharaj alive in their lives. This is very, very important. Very important. And when Maharaj would tell me, this gives me the confidence that when Guru Maharaj would say that the preaching programs must continue, whether I'm there or not, that gives me the confidence that everyone would be sheltered. It's very powerful. It cannot be described. And once we are doing something right, then all hands are on deck to protect us. Otherwise, I can't survive. I'm telling you this. The way it is. I do not know what's right. What's wrong. But even at that time, I felt when things were, probably because there was a lot of distance in my living in Maharaj world in India and we are in New Zealand. But still, I knew every second, every word has to be held like with a life, because it's going to be useful tomorrow. It's going to be useful tomorrow. Today I was thinking about one such class where Maharaj was speaking, just the Bhagavatam class, a lot of us were there. And Maharaj was speaking about, sometimes, Maharaj spoke in Gujarati, so in English I'm trying to just, कि कोई वक्त बहु असहनीय दुख आवी पड़े. That means unbearable sorrow may come in our lives. It may come. And it will be very difficult to survive. Maharaj admitted that point also. See how much he had Maharaj experienced at 85 years, it must be 85, 87 years then, 87, not 85 also. So much experience. Maharaj's son would be my uncle's age. So imagine this situation. So this point Maharaj was raising, and I was, again, that thing was in my heart to say, I want to hold it and I want to share it one day with people, with devotees. So they will feel the presence of Maharaj in their lives. There is no scarcity in their lives, as much as I'm doing. So this, Maharaj said that the pain becomes sometimes unbearable. It comes on our head. Asahaniya dukh aavi pade. So it is not bearable. It's very difficult to bear in people's lives. It may come. So somehow, still we just continue our devotional service with our bhakti, with our chanting, with our study. And somehow we'll be able to tolerate it slowly, meticulously over a period of time. Without bhakti, it will be intolerable for people. Something triggered for Maharaj, and Maharaj wanted to convey that point. Because every class, every discussion, Maharaj would have a focus to say, this is what message needs to be conveyed, so we will convey. So this was somehow in transcendental vision, Maharaj had this, And I was remembering today, just Mangalarti, which I said, oh, wow. And your discussion triggered this point to me to speak out, So I'm hoping my level best. As I always say, that my interaction with Maharaj has been I was very new disciple and very formal. Maharaj kept very formal. But some of the times it was very personal, and because of that, what I have seen, I'm supremely confident that I easily can say that if you feel the presence of Maharaj in your lives, that is, our bhakti is right, my bhakti is right, to any level, not only leaders, to intermediate level also, and beginners also. And that challenge, I would want all of you leaders, because you are also leaders in your own teams, our organization is decentralized, as I said, always said this, Our relationship is only through loyalty, nothing else. Nothing else. No formal structure, all those things. Nothing is there. What you teach is up to you. We don't even ask you. But there's one thing, if you really, really, really want to give to your devotees, is this, that they should feel the presence of Guru Maharaj in their lives. Srila Prabhupada, especially Guru Maharaj. Because that's what I've personally experienced. So it'll be your win. You will win this in your devotional service. And more importantly, I'll be able to show my face to Maharaj. They'll say, yeah, Dafar has done right, And then with this process, everybody can put back, by Bhagavad Gita, where there is no formal processes needed, Just by instructions, going to connect it. So it may sound very emotional, but this is a very, very philosophical basis. But who would say Mangalarti in train station? Who would do this? Don't restrict. You can't do. How can I chant? How will I do this? What can I do that? Don't. You're doing it. Focus on what you're doing it already. It's in your hand. Just do it. Like Sanjay Prabhu mentioned. Some of the points are very good because you heard the class. So, yeah, I just thought I'll put this. I don't know what is the value of it, but it is come from Maharaj with a strong foundation of knowledge and realized knowledge. Because I felt, who would say this? Sometimes the problem may come which is unbearable problem in some Bhagavatam class. Who would say this? And to give a solution to this, how much we understand is up to us. But that personality gave that knowledge, So similarly, it's up to us to get the most of it and digest it, and we share with others. Same knowledge. We may not realize it, but we can share it, no? That is our perfection. Thank you very much. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Amrish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, do you do this? Oh, okay.
You can go, Prabhuji.
No, Mataji, you can go. I think I can speak later. That's fine.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your nice realizations as always. And happy Sri Krishna Janmashtami to all of you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai and Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna. I was also actually very much meditating on the class that Prabhuji gave on Lord Krishna and Rukmini Mata's marriage, and it's like the nectar is coming and coming, and there's more and more and more realizations. And of course, thinking how is that in context with Janmashtami, in context with devotional service, and then also what Hare Krishna WECAN stands for, and what is our dear Gurudev, His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj's teachings. And I'm just going to bring it all together, try to bring it all together. So just bear with me. So the first point that just came, I was thinking was the pure devotional service from point of view of Rukmini Mata. And I was meditating that in Shikshastra, I think Prabhuji mentioned this, so I know that there are these 8 stages, So you start from your initial stage, and then you reach at the try to reach at the last stage, which is I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything because he's always my worshipable Lord unconditionally. So this thought came to my mind that Rukmini Mata had reached, the pure devotee has reached that stage, and that is where we aspire to go. So the verse that comes to my mind immediately is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 6, Savai Pumsam Parodharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaja Ahaitukya Aprahipihata Ninatma Suprasiddhati. So His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj laid a lot of emphasis on what are the scriptures, the importance of scriptures, yes, as mentioned by devotees. Then which are the scriptures that you read and how you read it. So a lot of emphasis was laid on chapter 12 and chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12 being devotional service. And also on the first canto, second chapter. So that was the gist. So we all learned, I remember when many years back, we tried to learn the verses by heart. And it carries the gist of Srimad Bhagavatam. So remember Srila Gurudev saying that, you know, if you can't read all the verses, then at least you should read the first two cantos. That will definitely increase your devotional service. So I came across a few verses. I'm just going to say this. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verse 23. Ya Shastra Vidim Utsrujya Vartate Kamakarataha Na Sa Siddhim Avapnoti Na Sukham Na Param Gatim. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So here, the Shastra Vidhi or direction of Shastra is very much mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And the importance of the scriptures, of reading the scriptures, but not only that, also actually applying them, which is what Srila Gurudev, His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj always stress importance on, because otherwise you can just read and not apply, and then that is not going to help you to ultimately do your devotional service and have that consciousness that you need to reach your ultimate destination and consciousness. So I also remember this very vividly, that when I'm just going to actually it's easier. So, I just wanted to read this about the verses, as I mentioned, quoted by His Holiness Maharshi Goswami Maharaj. Even if you don't understand the meaning, go on reciting the verses from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Eventually, you will know everything. We should have a few of the verses with us recite daily. Particularly, we should start from Bhagavad Gita, 12th and 15th chapter, and go to 2nd chapter of the 1st canto in Srimad Bhagavatam. In 34 verses is full of philosophy. You must learn 2nd chapter from 1st canto, and then as soon as you come to Krishna Leela through Krishna books, it is recommended by Srila Prabhupada himself that every day in the evening every house must read Krishna Leela through Krishna books. So Srila Prabhupada has made it so easy. The whole of 10th canto, even a child can understand the intricacies of the pastimes of Krishna. So this reading of the scriptures and reciting of the verses. When we initially met Maharaj, I remember that for Krishna Das it was told, because for a child it's very nice. And I still remember that when we made the attempt to also read the verses and then understand the philosophy, I think it definitely helps you and keeps you very fixated in your search and to know more about Krishna. In this endeavor, I just really hope that, as Hare Krishna WECAN is always laying emphasis not only on reading the scriptures, but actually even practically implementing them, that I be able to achieve that practical implementation, because sometimes we may read and then it's very difficult to implement it because we don't know how to. And I think that also Srila Prabhupada has mentioned this many times in his purports, that when you read, that is when you start to realize and understand. So on this very auspicious day of Krishna Janmashtami, I just pray that we can achieve unmotivated and unconditional devotional service unto Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. It is so extraordinary to think about Krishna and his kingdom. We all think that see, I don't know how to put this point. Only pure devotees should go to Krishna, correct? You all agree to this point? Yes? Just nod or raise your hands, okay? Yeah, pure devotees. Right. So, what about those people who are fighting with Krishna? They also can go back to Godhead and Vaikuntha. They get different. They get different. Kind of muktis. Agreed. But how does this sound? In Vaikuntha planets, in Vaikuntha spiritual world. So we are leaders, so I just share these few points. It's very intriguing. There is no difference between atheists and faithful in the Vaikuntha planets. Atheists? Vaikuntha? Because all who settle there, they're not atheists, of course. All who settle there, they are freed from material qualities. And the suras and asuras, both, they become equally obedient to equally obedient servitors to the Lord. How beautiful it is. How such complex situation, statement, philosophy, which has got so many angles in this, is spoken so beautifully in 4-5 sentences, compressed, packed and done. That's it, finished. Moved on, next point. And Prabhupada moves to the next point. And we are still stuck. Yeah, Surah, that's right. Surah and Asuras both are there. They come from there. It's not so. God comes down, Krishna killed, He didn't get any Sahaja Mukti. He was a doorkeeper. That's right. He exists there. He exists there. Oh God, that's also Shishupal, you know. Oh God. So these are the complexities of this. Prabhupada says, unless and until you understand where you are going, you'll never be able to go there. So this is very critical. At the same time, as preachers, I must share this with you. You have to be very careful how much to share, how much not to share. You see, do not indulge in these things. This is our specialty going to be. So this is what Maharaj knew. So many personal. I remember one devotee came to Maharaj often, and she had left Maharaj, going to some other gurus, because there was a Gopi dance and all that, Gopi Bhav. So they came to meet, Maharaj was so upset. It was one of my other senior God brothers' home, our. She said, you wanted to know about these things, Krishna's pastime. Why didn't you ask me? Why do you have to go somewhere else? Still, he was merciful. Why didn't you ask me? You wanted to know this. But basically, they were completely fooled. They never lasted here also, there also. They went somewhere else, and then now they're somewhere else. Nowhere else. Completely nowhere else. They see me, they get frightened, Although I was very new at that time, but my seniors were there, taking care. But this is the point to understand that in the spiritual world, all are obedient. There's no material qualities. So we cannot say this person is thinking animously of Krishna, because we know that they're thinking permanently of Krishna, right? No, that's and we if you remember, we had discussed this point also, that if you are animously thinking, you are more intensely thinking about Krishna than loving. Remember this point came? Anyone remembers this point? I did not dwell much on the subject. Just said this and we moved on from there. If you have got something, some axe to grind, you're thinking more intensely rather than simple loving, But that doesn't mean that is not very palatable. You should not do that. That's also true. But just a thought. This is how we, at least in Leaders Sangha, when we're chanting, you can think on those lines, just for expanding our thought process. Jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Who would like to go next? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhu, Hare Grace Panbhagya Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for training us and giving us this opportunity to meditate and share our realizations on such a auspicious occasion of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. So happy Sri Krishna Janmashtami to you all. Sorry, my voice is still not good, so I might not be very clear. So I was meditating actually, quite a few days what to share, for this Janmashtami. So, initially I thought actually Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Lord Krishna, so everything can be shared. So there is no restriction this time that you have to find a particular pastime. So, it's a lot to, you can think anything, you can share anything, speaking about Krishna. So actually I was listening, that just I wanted to know actually what I should actually, achieve, that I should have some point to develop this year, So I was thinking, and very basic thing what I realized is that the quality of my chanting has to be improved, because I actually reflected on myself, and I realized that even before I started preaching, I think my quality of chanting was much better than now, because there's not much to think about, so you can pretty much focus what you're chanting. So I think we forget this very basic point, which is very, very important, you know. And when you listen to Srila Prabhupada, then actually sometime you actually get to the right lecture, you know, that actually that point is again emphasized. So Srila Prabhupada actually gave lecture on Janmashtami. I think it's 1969. I think it's 23rd, 29th of August. And I was expecting Srila Prabhupada to speak on some, you know, some pastime related to the Sri Krishna Janmashtami. But Srila Prabhupada gave lecture on actually very basic philosophy, actually. And I was thinking on that point, actually, that was a point, actually, why Srila Prabhupada spoke on this one. You know? He didn't actually even touch how Krishna appeared, or, you know, all this pastime normally was very prominently shared on Janmashtami. So, but actually that lecture was very melodious. Actually, Srila Prabhupada spoke on actually the holy name of Lord Krishna and Krishna, the absolute truth. There is no difference. So I actually, I listened to that class many times, and I was meditating. And I also listened to, you know, actually, I remember last time we studied, and I remember also there are classes, you know, given in our actually Hare Krishna weekend by guest lecturers in the past on Sri Krishna Janmashtami. So what I actually realized is that Krishna actually, when he appeared, actually in a prison cell of Kamsa, so it was mentioned that actually he appeared, you know, is actually as a 400 form, you know, so 400 form, you know, and actually is carrying all his paraphernalia, you know, Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and all his, you know, with all his paraphernalia. So it wasn't actually, you know, like a material, like people like us, you know, as we born, actually we born crying, you know, we don't carry all these things, you know, so we're very much actually in pain and suffering. But Krishna, when he appeared, actually, it is stated that Krishna appeared to actually remove the anxiety of Devaki Mataji and Vasudev Maharaj, you know, because they were in a great anxiety. Because as we know, everyone knows that Kamsa, he killed, you know, 6 babies prior to that, and they were in very much fear that actually he's going to do the same. But actually, Krishna, actually, there was conversation. Krishna actually gave the assurance that he's the supreme personality of Godhead, and you know, and there is no chance that actually Kamsa can kill him. But still, I'm meditating on that point that Krishna actually, whenever we chant, as we know that Krishna gives all the protection, you know. So it is also, I remember the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. I think it's Canto 1, where Srila Prabhupada has given very nice purport as well, where it's mentioned that Arjuna Uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabhao Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tvam Eko Dhaya Mananam Apvargosi Samsrite. So where it is mentioned that Krishna is the Almighty Personality of Godhead, and there is no limit to his different energies. Therefore, you are the competent to instill a fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. So I remember that point. Actually, I studied this verse many months, maybe a year ago, and I think we had a series of lectures as well. You know, actually, Amrish Bhog organized from fear to fearlessness, and so we heard many realization from various devotees. So that point actually, you know, is very relevant. I found it very relevant that Krishna, when he appeared, you know, actually he appeared to actually remove the anxieties of his devotees, you know. So we should be what I realize is that actually whenever we actually in the anxiety, actually we should always remember Krishna, and we naturally we do so. Most of the people, even who are not devotees, you know, when they are the difficulty, they remember God. So that's very natural. So actually, I'm not going to dwell on that past time, but when I actually listened to Srila Prabhupada actually referred to this verse अथ श्री कृष्ण नामादि ना भावेद ग्रह्यम इंद्रिया सेवेन मुखे ही जीवादव स्वयं eva spurti adha. So it's very famous verse where it says that therefore, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. So this verse actually, actually talks about actually how to understand Krishna. So as I'm very much on a material platform, actually when we chant, actually our attention is always divided. So mind is actually quite flickering, goes here and there, and we have to actually consciously make effort to actually focus on the actually vibrations. So it's very important that actually that proves that actually our senses are not purified, the material senses, and we cannot appreciate the actual Krishna's holy name. So there is so much emphasis is given in actually Srila Prabhupada has spoke on this point that this whole Hare Krishna movement is actually based on this chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But still, actually, we're chanting 16 rounds, but actually, we are just like actually, it's like just actually we're ticking the box, But actually, what I realized is I have to really focus to understand. And actually, Srila Prabhupada spoke that Krishna is the absolute truth, and there is no difference between his name, his paraphernalia, his pastimes, and Krishna, as a person. There is no difference. So Srila Prabhupada said, when you chant Krishna's names, you are directly associating with Krishna. That is direct association. And also remember, His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, actually, he mentioned that when we chant, this is Amrish Prabhu also, he mentioned that it's a personal appointment with Krishna. When you chant, so as Sanjay Prabhu also said, we have to find a quiet corner whenever we do our actually reading or chanting. So actually, when you chant, actually you are actually having a personal meeting with Krishna. But our attention is divided. Then actually, even if we actually crying for Krishna, Krishna comes and we are not there. So actually, Krishna is appearing, but we are not ready to accept him. So that's why actually our attention is very important if you want actually Krishna to appear in your heart, every day. So Janmashtami is not just on one day, as Guru Maharaj says that Janmashtami should be every day. And especially I remember actually his instruction where he says that the seriousness, actually will be tested. That on a Janmashtami everybody comes, everybody has a big festival, they dance and chant and everything. But one who's actually even after Janmashtami, actually doing the same things every day, so that shows the actually real seriousness. So actually, I realized I failed to do that because today, it's quite intense. We wake up very early, we prepare everything, we do everything, but that doesn't happen every day. There is no actually seriousness is maintained. So if you really want to actually understand and try to implement this instruction that actually Krishna has to appear every day in our heart, then we have to actually maintain the seriousness. And chanting, I think, I thought is very, very basic and very, very important. As Amrish Prabhu said that actually the process and the end is the same. We are actually learning to chant now. And if you ever actually get to the stage of becoming a pure devotee, you'll be still chanting, in a pure state. So we are not doing anything different, but actually the quality is different. So currently my chanting is very contaminated, and I have to get to somehow I have to get to the pure stage. So Srila Prabhupada says that actually there are actually people who do not believe in Krishna or do not believe that Krishna and Krishna's name is the same. So Srila Prabhupada says that they are the demons. So demon is not somebody, actually demon is actually basically a lack of knowledge, and a lack of knowledge can be addressed, it can be rectified. So we take the medication, and the medication is the same, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it is also very nicely explained in the Shishtastakam. As we chant, holy name of the Lord, it actually cleanses our heart. And as our heart is cleansed, then actually slowly, actually we get to the stage where we can actually focus and chant without any interruptions. So actually that was very interesting lecture from Srila Prabhupada. And actually I thought that actually I was meditating on that point, that actually how to improve the quality of chanting. So I come to the understanding that actually Krishna and Krishna's name, there is no difference. So because if you really believe that there is no difference, then actually you are associating with Krishna every day. Every time you chant, there is a direct association. But for me, maybe it's just actually instruction at the moment. But to get to that actually quality, I think we have to invest a lot of efforts, and actually I have to actually invest a lot of energy and consciously make an effort to actually focus and actually believe that actually there is no difference. So that is actually what I understood from that actually lecture, by Srila Prabhupada on the Janmashtami day. And actually also because I was actually quite sick, so I couldn't really spend much time reading on this, actually preparing the realizations. But I interestingly came across the Guru Maharaj's actually instruction today, which says that sickness also has a time. And in old age particularly, there are two types of sickness. One that which could be cured maybe if Krishna wishes. All other sickness, they come to take you away. Nobody can help. So please, with firm faith on Krishna, we can avoid these things. This is the greatest austerity. This is the greatest austerity in this age. To be ready to die is the greatest austerity. So this is very actually quite instructive. Actually, I was meditating on that one as well. So to be ready to die is the greatest austerity. So yeah, obviously I'm not ready to die because I still feel the fear. When I think about death. So actually, when we're ready, I think you can be only ready when you are actually certain that you can actually able to chant in a pure state, without any actually hindrance or any actually, your mind is not flickering. You can fully focus. Then you know that you can ready to die because you know where you are going. As Amrish Prabhu said, unless you know where you're going, it's very hard to progress in the right direction. So yeah, that is actually the takeaway from me. Actually, meditating on this subject matter is actually improving the quality of the chanting. So actually, you can able to associate with Krishna every day. You can have the Janmashtami. Thank you, devotees, and Amrish Prabhu, and everyone. Happy Janmashtami to you all again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. About chanting, I had made some notes, I was searching for it. Here it is. I wanted to share it someday. So it is a good day to share, and you jog my thought, So listen very carefully. Your mind is wandering all over the universe when you chant. Chant anyway. Your mind is wandering to the past and future when you chant. Chant anyway. You are not able to concentrate on Krishna's names while you chant. Chant anyway. You have no taste for chanting. Chant anyway. You have lusty desires. Chant anyway. You are making offenses while chanting. In chanting, chant anyway. You are not praying to Krishna to help you chant better. Chant anyway. You often chant late at night. Chant anyway. Why should you chant despite all above obstacles? This is why. There is no vow like chanting the holy name. No knowledge superior to it. No meditation which comes anywhere near it. And it gives the highest result. No penance is equal to it. And nothing is as potent or powerful as the holy name. Chanting is the greatest act of piety and the supreme refuge. Even the words of the Vedas do not possess sufficient power to describe its magnitude. Chanting is the highest path to liberation, peace, and eternal life. It's the pinnacle of devotion, the heart's joyous proclivity and attraction, and the best form of remembrance of the Supreme Lord. The holy name has appeared solely for the benefit of living entities as their Lord and Master, their supreme worshipful object, and their spiritual guide and mentor. Whoever continuously chants Lord Krishna's name, even in his sleep, can easily realize that the name is a direct manifestation of Krishna himself, in spite of the influences of Kali Yuga. By Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati, quoted from Adi Puran. Jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki Jai. There you go. Hare Krishna. Chant anyways. You're not the only one. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who would like to go now? Please feel free. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav ki Jai. Thank you, Amrish Prabhu and Punfagam Mataji and Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to share my realizations and your training to us, always training us how to give our realizations and how to do the preaching work as well. So thank you, Prabhuji. So as everyone else has quoted Maharaj, and today when I was just preparing for the realization, and the first thing came to my mind was that Maharaj has said that Krishna has to appear in our hearts every day and every moment. That and I thought this is the only way, which is the perfect Janmashtami, if we can do that. And then I thought, okay, devotees' thoughts are always around Krishna, and they derive great pleasure discussing about him and as Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita already in chapter 10, verse 9, Machita matgat prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. And that's what we do every week. I think 3 or 4 times in a week. So that's really, really very enlightening for me. So I was just thinking, what should be my realization for this Janmashtami day. And then I thought there was a class given by Amrish Prabhu, very nice class. And that was about the when Krishna Balram go to Mathura. So it was like every entity has a relationship with Krishna, special relationship with Krishna. So everyone has a relationship with Krishna, whether one accepts it or not. It can be positive or negative relationship. There are unlimited pastimes of Krishna, and each one has a different rasa for different people. So how one realizes Krishna's pastime, and that is up to them. So I would like to meditate upon Krishna's act of killing the elephant Kuvalayapid. This was the class given by Amrish Prabhu. In Mathura, after finishing their early morning rituals, Krishna and Balaram heard kettle drums heralding the start of the wrestling match, and they went to see the festivities. At the gate of the wrestling arena, they encountered an elephant named Kuvalayapid, who attacked Krishna at the urging of his keeper. The mighty elephant grabbed at Krishna with his trunk, but the Lord struck back and then disappeared from the beast's sight among his legs. And enraged at not being able to see Krishna, Kuvalayapid sought him out with his senses of smell and seized him. But the Lord pulled loose. In this way, Krishna teased and tormented Kuvalayapid, finally yanking out one of his tusks and beating him and his keepers to death. So when Krishna kills Kuvalayapid, and then he just uprooted one of his tusks, and he was covered in blood, and carrying one of his tusks on his shoulder as a weapon, Lord Krishna appeared unprecedentedly beautiful as he entered the wrestling arena. There, the various classes of people saw him in different ways according to their specific relationship with him. So in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 43, verse number 17, it is very vividly described how everyone whosoever were present and looking at Krishna, how they felt about their relationship with Krishna. And the shloka is Mallanam Ashnirninam Narvaraha Strinam Smaro Murtiman Gopanam Swajano Shatam Kshiti Bhujam Shasta Swapitro Shishu Mrityur Bhoja Pater Viraj Avidusham Tattvam Param Yoginam Vrishninam Paradve Devate Vidhito Rangam Gata Sagraja. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The various groups of people in the arena regarded Krishna in different ways when he entered it with his elder brother. The wrestlers saw Krishna as a lightning bolt, the men of Mathura as the best of males, the women as Cupid in person, the cowherd men as their relative, the impious rulers as a chastiser, his parents as their child, the king of Bhojas as death, the unintelligent as the Supreme Lord's universal form, the yogis as the absolute truth, and the Vrishnis as their supreme worshipable deity. There are 10, so in the purport, I would like to just quote a few lines from the purport, Srila Prabhupada's purport. There are 10 different moods: fury, perceived by the wrestlers, wonder by the men, conjugal attraction by the women, laughter, the cowherds, chivalry, the kings, mercy, his parents, terror, Kamsa, ghastliness, the unintelligent, peaceful neutrality, the yogis, and loving devotion, the Vrishnis. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti points out that people like the wrestlers, Kansa, and the impious rulers perceive Krishna as dangerous, angry or threatening because they fail to understand the they fail to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. Actually, Krishna is everyone's friend and well-wisher. But because we rebel against him, he chastises us, and thus we may perceive him as threatening. Krishna or God is actually merciful, and when he punishes us, that is also his mercy. And as Amrish Prabhu just mentioned that the devotees and the demons, all when they go to Vaikuntha, they are same. Both when they are killed by Krishna, they are same. When there is nothing like one who is enemy of Krishna there. They are all they all follow they all follow Krishna's rules there. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes the following Vedic statement: Raso vaisah rasam hi evam labdhyavanti bhavati. He himself is rasa, the taste or mellow of a particular relationship. And certainly one who achieves this rasa becomes anandi, filled with bliss. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati quotes a further verse to explain the word rasa. Vyatit bhavana vartma yaschat chamatkar bharabhu Hridi sattvajvale bhadam swadate sarasumataha. That which is beyond imagination, heavy with wonder, and relished in the heart, shining with goodness, such is known as rasa. So rasa can only be felt, and because it is beyond imagination, we cannot just imagine that this rasa will be like that. It's just felt, how we feel it. As Srila Rupa Goswami elaborately explains in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, there are 5 main rasas: neutrality, servitude, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love, and 7 secondary rasas: amazement, humor, chivalry, compassion, fury, fear, and dread. Thus, altogether, there are 12 rasas, and the supreme object of them all is Sri Krishna himself. In other words, our love and affection are actually meant for Sri Krishna. Unfortunately, out of ignorance, we stubbornly try to squeeze happiness and love out of material relationships, which are not directly connected to Krishna. And thus life becomes a constant frustration. The solution is simple: surrender to Krishna, love Krishna's devotees, and be happy for it. So what I understood, that the main 5 rasas are for the devotees, because those are the blissful ones which keep, because devotees always serve Krishna. They love Krishna. They are always surrendered to Krishna. So those 5 main rasas are for devotees, and the other, which ghastliness and fury and other humor, amazement, these are for the other people. So in 12 rasas, everyone is bound. We don't know it and we don't accept it, but actually Krishna, these 12 rasas, which is coming from Krishna, because Krishna is Rasaraj, and all living entities are actually bound by all these 12 rasas. It's up to us how much we surrender that, because Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tatha bhajami. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Knowingly or unknowingly, we follow it. So I was just thinking that how much surrender I think few years I have been practicing Krishna consciousness, and how much is the level of my surrender to Krishna. And then I find myself far behind whatever the goal is. Their goal is there, and I'm at the first step, still on the first step. So it's just that how much I relish chanting, how much I spend time with Krishna in when I have a personal appointment with Krishna, chant with in his chanting. So the only thing, as Sheetal Prabhu just mentioned, that because Krishna and Krishna's names are same, but I think I do understand it, but I haven't achieved that stage yet. So always mind goes here and there, and then I have to drag it, just put it. No, I have to be on Krishna's name. I have to chant it, relish it, and just feel the mellow of it, the rasa which is in chanting. So Krishna consciousness is just awakening the love of God and understand the relationship with Him. It's all about Krishna, Krishna's love. So that is what my realization is for this Krishna Janmashtami. Once again, happy Krishna Janmashtami to everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mother. Thank you very much. Very nice. Everything is Srila Prabhupada, by his teachings, by the mercy of Guru Maharaj, we understand. It's all glories to him, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Who would like to go next?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving us this opportunity to share the, our realization on such a auspicious day. And thank you so much for celebrating Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav in such a nectarian way. Thank you so much, all the devotees, for your very nice realization. I would like to share my realization from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 63. It says, Krodha bhavati samoha, samohat samrati vibhramaha, samrati brahmshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. From anger, the complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. So I realized from this verse that sometimes, somewhere, somewhat, this is one of the situations we have all, that we don't realize that we have like this anger going on inside of us because of something, and where we lost the intelligence and we just falls down again and again. I realize that this is can be the one of the reason of our inattentive chanting and of our the effect of our outside world on us so much, because we are not fully satisfied from inside. So it made me realize that how important is to adopt the real nature of devotion. We cannot artificially redundant material sense gratification. We have to find the higher taste of life first to avoid. Then we can naturally renunciate the artificial enjoyment. If we are finding ourselves falling from the point of that feeling of liberation, it means that we are not supporting our devotional service, and we ourselves are responsible for our own supported situation. and we ourselves are encouraging and stopping from being progress. So it clearly states that we need to come from deep down, even in the situation where we can be very agitated if things are not working according to our own way. So this actually naturally attains if we feel the neutral completely, not affected by the outside world. So Krishna is in these. So as Prabhuji said before Shikha Prabhu, that Krishna is there to remove the anxiety, but we are not there to remove our own anxiety. We are trying to solve our material problem with the material solution. And if we are completely follow our own business with Krishna, there is no way we get affected anything. There is no way anything gets like affected us around us. There is no way anything can affect us around us. As Prabhuji said that when we chant, it's our personal meeting with Krishna. But if we are not attentive, we are missing out that personal meeting because Krishna is there, but we are not there. As we always try to purify ourselves, and we always try to like focus. We don't, when we sit for chanting, we don't want to feel like, oh, our mind goes here and there. And then, but it still happens. Why? So, like I was reading this verse and I felt like this is like anger. We are not angry from outside. It's not showing, but from inside, we are feeling that we are not getting what we need. But what we need, only Krishna knows, and Krishna supplies to us according to our own need. But we are, because the deep inside, we are so greedy to grab everything. We don't realize that whatever is our quota will come to us, and we have to leave other things, and still feel satisfied. So I realized that how like our own personal meeting, we can say, with Krishna, that nectar, as Mataji said, and rasa, we can only feel and have it if we are supporting our devotional service by ourselves. We are not dependent on anybody. We are dependent, but at the same time, we are independent because only we know our own situation. So that's what I realized. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Joy Mataji. Anyone else who would like to share their realizations, please? Please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pragya Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for giving us this opportunity to share our realization. Also, thank you very much for your training and guidance and support to us. I'll just quickly share my realization.
Sorry, Hare Krishna, your video is on, please, by mistake or?
Sorry, Prabhuji, I didn't realize it's on. Thank you. So wish you all happy Shri Krishna Janmashtami. So my realization is on chapter 5, verse 12, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 12. Yuktaha karma phalam takta shantim apnoti naishtikim ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Jai. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. So I'll read quickly the purport as well. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Krishna, whereas the latter is attached to the result of his activities. The person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the result of his work. In the Bhagavatam, the cause of anxiety over the result of an activity is explained as being one's functioning in the conception of duality that is without knowledge of the absolute truth. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists in a product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effects. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness, but one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness realization, that there is no existence beside Krishna is the platform of peace and fearlessness. So I was reading this chapter, and I thought I will just share this one because everything is Krishna's instruction. Bhagavad Gita is all about the Krishna's instruction. And then what I realize is that from this verse is like we should work for Krishna and all the leave the results to Krishna. Our all activities should be performed for Krishna, and ultimately Krishna is the enjoyer of everything and we are the servant of him. I understood from this verse that all activities I should perform to please Krishna without expecting any output of it and never attached to the results. And then whatever result we'll obtain, I should be satisfied, because whatever happens, it's according to Krishna's will. So, so because we always, regular basis, we always say, me actually, like somehow knowingly or unknowingly getting attached to something, so about the result. And so this is the instruction for me personally. I'll take, so I'll now onwards I'll remember this instruction from Krishna, that whatever happens, good or bad, we'll just take it as a Krishna's will and not attached to it. And whatever condition we are, we should be happy. And this is my small realization for this program, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Mother. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So now, anybody remaining now? Everybody's done? What have you given? Yeah. I think for little kids, it's a bit late for everyone. Huh? Although I requested them to write something. I think Navina must have slept by now. Huh? Navina Mataji, she's resting. Let her rest.
Yes, Prabhuji, she's sleeping.
Maybe she can speak on Sunday, with Prabhupada and this both. She can write something. Okay, we've got because of Australia time, it's 2 hours earlier. So it's what time is it over there now? It's 7 o'clock? What time? 7:30?
9:30.
Oh, 9:30. Oh, still it is a bit late. 9:30 is time for me to go to sleep, You're still awake? Huh? Very nice, Subhadra Devi. Mataji, you want to speak? You want to give your realization, your thank you to Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Speak
Hare
louder.
Krishna. Please.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Shri Shri Gauranga ki jai, Shri Krishna Appearance Day ki jai. My realization is on Srila Prabhupada's book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I was reading introduction, and the first point is that Krishna is the complete whole, and all the plenary expansions and incarnations always live with him. From this point, I understood that Krishna is the original God, and everything comes from him. I remember the first seed verse of Bhagavad Gita, which says the same point. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta savam pavattate itti matva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samamita. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I am the source of all the spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Krishna is saying here that everything comes from him, and he is the original. And the second point is conditioned souls are interested in reading fictional stories of the material activities of some common man. Pastimes of the Lord are generally heard and relished by liberated souls. Narrations describing the transcendental activities of the Lord are found in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. But this conditioned soul still prefers to study ordinary narrations. They are not so interested in studying the narrations of pastime of the Lord Krishna. But Krishna's pastimes are so attractive that they are relishable for all classes of men. I understood from this point that anybody can be attracted to Krishna's pastimes. For example, I used to like reading fictional books. Now I've started to read Srila Prabhupada's books to know more about Krishna. This is my realization. Thank you, Prabhuji. Your servant, Subhadra Sami.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice realization.
Yes, Prabhuji. She wants to read, so I gave the Krishna book. I thought that's the best book you can read every night. Yes, Prabhuji.
Wonderful.
She
Very
started
nice.
with the introduction. Yes.
Very nice. All the best to you. Keep reading more and more. Okay? Wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Happy Janmashtami to all of you. To you and Madhava as well. Madhavji, Hare Krishna, Madhav Prabhu. How are you doing? Okay? Oh,
I did
Yes,
you're
bit tired.
decorating?
He was with actually Dolly took him to there was a drama, so he acted as a Krishna.
He was
Oh,
the
yes,
lead.
yes, Krishna.
So
Very
he was
nice. Where's your
so he
flute,
was
Krishna?
there. So
Very
you want to
nice.
yeah?
You want to say something?
Yeah.
Okay, please speak. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Shri Shri Gauranga ki jai. Happy Krishna Appearance Day. My mom got me to read Srila Prabhupada books. Krishna says, this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my directions. I see how nicely sunrise in the morning.
Speak louder.
Energies is working under my one of my energies is working under my directions. I see how nicely sunrise in the morning, and the light is everywhere. Sun sets in the evening. The moon rises to give us moonlight. How beautifully the material nature is working. Everything is arranged so nicely. Who is managing the nature? It is Krishna, the Supreme God. Thank you, my mom, for helping me.
Thank you, Prabhuji, and all the devotees. Your servant, Mother Sani.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Very nice, Madhavji. Very good. Hare Krishna. Happy Janmashtami to you too. Yeah, very good. All the best. Keep reading Prabhupada's books, okay? Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I think we still got some 20 minutes to go. Anyone want to say anything before we start to conclude? Okay. I wanted to read some verses, which Srila Gurudev would always read. It always brings tears to our eyes. We remember Guru Maharaj, remember Krishna, and conclude with this. Okay. Suta Uvacha Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyai Svavai Vedaihi Sangapad Kramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavasthita manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Naviduh Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Vamshi Vibhushitakara Navaniradabha Pitambarad Arunabimba Phalodharo Sthat Purnendu Sundar Mukhat Arvinda Netrat Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattvam Aham na jane Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattvam Aham na jane Aham na jane Aham na jane Kasturi tilakam lalat patale vakshasthale kaustubham nasagre varmaustikam karatale venukare kankanam sarvange harichandanam sulalitam कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि श्री कृष्ण शरणम समस्त जगता कृष्णं विना का गति कृष्णेन प्रतिहन्यते कलिमरम् कृष्णाय कार्यं नमः कृष्णदृश्याधि कालढीमभुजगो कृष्णस्य सर्वं वसे कृष्णेरा भक्तिरखण्डिता भवतु मे O Krishna, Tvameva Ashrayah. O Krishna, Tvameva Ashrayah. O Krishna, Tvameva Ashrayah. O Krishna, Tvameva Ashrayah. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Samasta Vaishnava Acharya Gan ki jai. Shri Samasta Guru Shishya Parampara Acharya Gan ki jai. Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav ki jai. Shri Braj Bhumi Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Dwarkapuri Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur Dham ki jai. Shri Jagannathpuri Dham ki jai. Shri Mathurapuri Dham ki jai. Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Radhe Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. We're still about 13 odd minutes to go. I think we should complete now. We'll sing once before and then we'll complete so you can have some time to glorify Krishna, have prasadam, break your fast on time. Tomorrow also we have to reach at the center, So you know all where to come. The address is given in the poster. Yeah. Please, we'll see you there as soon as possible. Don't be too delayed there. Okay. Thank you. नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की बोलो नंद घेरा नंद भयो
जय कन्हैया लाल की
नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की नंद घेरा नंद भयो
जय कन्हैया लाल की
नंद घेरा नंद भयो
जय
जय
कन्हैया लाल
लाल
की
की
हाथी घोड़ा पाल की
जय
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 कन्हैया लाल की
हाथी घोड़ा पाल की
जय
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 कन्हैया लाल की
Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
Okay, please take care of yourself, break your fast on time, and we'll see you tomorrow, Krishna willing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
हरे
जी
कृष्ण
थैंक
प्रभु
यू
जी
Hare
थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रभु
Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्णा
Krishna,
हैप्पी
Hare
जन्माष्टमी
Krishna,
Happy
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Janmashtami.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.